So I'm sitting here with Marianne Williamson, and thank you so much for taking the time, Marianne. And the first question I'm really anxious to ask you is, what is most meaningful to you at this point in your life?
I think in terms of maximizing whatever contribution I can make in the time that I do have left. Mm-hmm. I think when you're younger, you take 5-year detours. You take, sometimes what seems in retrospect to have been a decade-long
right.
detour or longer.
I've done a couple of them.
And you reach a certain age where you don't have the time to take 5-year detours. You want to practice whatever mastery you've achieved and get it right. There's a line from Carl Jung which says that the failure to deal with the issue of death robs the second half of life of its meaning.
Wow.
And I'm not planning on going anywhere anytime soon. So what's most meaningful to me is that sense of laser beam correctness, getting it right, because once you've lived long enough, you can. Doesn't mean you're going to be perfect, but you really want to go for playing the game as correctly as possible.
And I'm really curious to that space when you don't sometimes do it right. How do you get yourself back on a horse that feels more loving or more caring for yourself?
We all make mistakes. That doesn't affect our eternal, fundamental innocence. It just means we made a mistake. But the same voice that sets you up to do something that in retrospect you see was totally ridiculous or self-sabotaging is the same voice that will then say you messed up, you're bad, you're stupid.
Right.
So once you see that game of the mind for what it is, you realize that to indulge guilt beyond appropriate regret and remorse is just as dysfunctional as the thing itself.
Yeah.
Right. And if you indulge too much, one of the things that fascinates me watching really great athletes is the emotional discipline. It's not just the athletic skill, but the emotional discipline of a great athlete. If a great tennis player made a mistake, they literally cannot indulge a fraction of a second.
Instantly they have to come back.
To be present to the next one.
Yes.
And that's such a life lesson.